strikes. Starts as you want.
But this is the danger of the top two guys, and that nuclear weapon that is.
Oh, hello, goodbye.
Score!
In the back of the net.
And shoots. Score!
Of Serie A action. We'll bring you so much of it here on DAZN.
Magnificent. That is tremendous.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Going deep for it all. Devontae Smith. He has got it. Touchdown.
Your Eagles are world champions again.
DAZN is the home of boxing.
Really spurs you on, gets you going.
Let's make history. Pure power. Oh, there's no way back from this, surely.
On away soil as well. In terms of a fairy tale, was it all just about perfect for you, really?
Yeah, I think if you had to write down exactly how you'd want a fairy tale ending to be to reach the pinnacle of boxing, it'd be that way. I got a little bit of an headache after achieving it, but you know it was perfect, and yeah, it'd be a great night and one we'll always remember.
And of course, you were due to be headlining here tomorrow night. This was meant to be the homecoming, the first defence against Alberto Puello. Injuries happen in this game, but what is the latest on the injury, and when can we expect to see you back in the ring?
Of course, it was frustrating. Obviously, I was meant to fight here tomorrow night for my homecoming, and you know it would have been special. But you know, injuries happen in boxing. You know, that's why I've got my team around me to make those decisions. And you know, it was something what needed treatment. And you know, we're looking October, November, back out, having the homecoming against Alberto Puello.
And in terms of just elsewhere right now in the division, a fight you're always asked about is Adam Azim, who won the past weekend there. What did you make of his performance, first of all?
I thought it was a very good stoppage. You know, that's the only bit I've seen. I've actually not watched the fight back yet. But look, he'd done what he's had to do in there. You know, obviously my goals and my sight is on bigger and better things. You know, I think he's got a lot to prove first. And look, credit to him. He got the job done and he's dealt with what's in front of him.
When do you think would be the logical time to make Dalton Smith versus Adam Azim?
Look, I've done it the hard way. I haven't avoided anyone. I've done it the traditional route, and for me, he's got to go and prove himself at world level. You know, I'm not going to give nobody an easy shot if they've not deserved it. You know, they say it's 50-50. It's not. I'm a champion. It's, you know, it's 70-30.
Okay, well, big nights to look forward to with this man, Dalton Smith, here in Sheffield. A big night to look forward to as well here on DAZN. 8 fights to make official. Here's what's on offer here tomorrow night live on DAZN.
This is Padley's here. Josh Padley is the new European champion in emphatic fashion.
Spider Suleiman.
He looks fired up, he means business. That is how you win your first title as a professional. Punch perfect.
Leo Atang.
He's a great prospect. He's got all the tools.
At 19 years old, you're not seeing any other heavyweight do that. Massive future ahead.
Step by step, we're getting there. There's that left to the body. Bowen is becoming famous for another tremendous finish.
Sheffield, England. There's no turning back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Sheffield, England for the official weigh-in for a big night of world-class professional boxing taking place tomorrow night at the Utilita Arena. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored on the night by Betfred, Drip, Events 365, Riyadh Season, North Defense, Fuel Hub, the 10% Club, That Prize Guy, and Everlast. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great fight card. We have 8 fights on the card. At the top of the bill, it's Padley v. Fiaz for the European Super Featherweight Championship. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, 4 rounds in the middleweight division. Now making his way to the stage, he's a 16-fight veteran hailing from Liverpool. Please welcome Connor Goulding. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. His young undefeated record, 2-0. He hails from Sheffield. Please welcome Chris Mula Mulanda. Now to the scale, Connor Goulding. £161 and 75 ounces for Goulding. Now to the scale, Chris Mula Mulanda. $161 even for Mulanda. Fighters face each other.
Here we go then, opening the broadcast, 5:15 p.m. tomorrow night. Match of DAZN YouTube channels is this one. 23-year-old, fight number 3 as a professional for Chris Mulanda. Turned over in November last year, lost on a split in the Senior Elite National Final in April last year against Matchroom's Harley Burrows, who made his professional debut recently.
Matchroom Boxing live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
And now honing his craft in the Steel City gym alongside Dalton Smith. Dalton, you two have sparred. How is he settling into the gym now as a young professional?
Yeah, you know, Chris is an exceptional talent. He's young. And I had a story about Chris. You know, my dad, we were struggling for sparring, and my dad says, we'll use Chris. He was an amateur at the time. We'll use him to fill up the sparring. And I soon found out it wasn't just a fill-in for the sparring. You know, he gave me some tough rounds, and I knew from then he's going to be a great fighter.
Hailing from Madrid, Spain, please welcome Jesus, the Hitman Carrasco. Carrasco. His opponent now making his way to the stage. 6-0, 2 knockouts from Doncaster, Ed Hardy. Hardy. Now to the scale, Jesus Carrasco. £128, 0.05 ounces for Carrasco. Now to the scale, Ed Hardy. 127 pounds, 6 ounces for Ed Hardy. Fighters face each other.
Yeah, also returning to action tomorrow, two-time national champion farm boy Ed Hardy tells us he may drive his tractor to the arena tomorrow night, as he has done previously. 6-0 now, Dalton. Sonny Edwards told me yesterday they're finding it hard to match him at the early stage. Why do you think that is?
You know, I think you can see that from his performances. You know, he doesn't look like he carries power, but believe me, when he's been working on that farm all his life, he carries power, he's strong, and he's just physical. He's got that physical strength, and I think people struggle with it.
Yep, Hardy against Carrasco, last seen taking young Louis Ward the 4-round distance on the Walker Eggington undercard in Wolverhampton. From one Connor Walker to another in Connor Mitchell. Back to David, and we go with the weigh-in.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. Our next contest, 4 rounds featherweights, making his way to the stage. We got a 28-fight veteran from Buenos Aires. Please welcome Rodrigo Matias Areco. Areco. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He's a southpaw, 2-0, 1 knockout from Essex. Please welcome the Hammer, Connor Mitchell. Mitchell. Now to the scale, Rodrigo Matias Areco. 129 pounds, 7 ounces for Areco. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. Connor to the scale, Connor Mitchell. 129 pounds, 0.05 ounces for Connor Mitchell. Fighters face each other.
Yep, the development continues tomorrow then for Connor Mitchell, 21 years old, big punching, right-handed southpaw, son of British cult hero Kevin Mitchell, of course. How difficult do you think it is, Dalton, turning over with that level of expectation as a young professional for Connor Mitchell?
Of course, he's always going to be on pressure on kids like Connor. But, you know, when your father's being a fighter as great as they are, the pressure's on, but as long as they're themselves, they're doing it for themselves, and they're their own man, I think they can go far.
Yep. Second fight this year for Connor, the durable Rodrigo Areco, the opponent from Argentina. The Hammer looking to get back on the knockout streak tomorrow night. Also in action is Adam Maka, speaking of knockouts, looking to preserve the 100% KO ratio here in Sheffield tomorrow night. Back to David.
Okay, our next contest, 6-round super featherweights, making his way to the stage. Professional record, 18 wins, 34 defeats, 1 draw from Callao, Peru, Cesar Ignacio Paredes. Paredes. His opponent now making his way to the stage, 5-0, all 5 wins by knockout. He fights out of Brighton. Please welcome Adam Maka. Maka. Cesar now to the scale. £130, 65 ounces for Cesar Ignacio Paredes. Now to the scale, the undefeated Adam Maka. 129.9 for Adam Maka, 129.9. Fighters face each other.
Yeah, fight number 6 tomorrow night for Adam Maka, still only 19 years old, 5 fights, 5 knockouts. So someone now, Dalton, known as a big puncher, a 73% KO ratio. You went the distance on your professional debut. Do you think in some ways that took the pressure off you?
Yeah, and I think, especially when it's your debut, you're eager to perform, and, you know, sometimes that stops you getting the stoppage because you're tense, you're not relaxed, but, you know, Adam Maka looks promising, he's shown he can carry power, and he'll want to continue to keep getting those knockouts, but he needs that experience of going the full distance of the rounds.
Yeah, he'll have to work for it tomorrow. Paraday's very tough, taking a lot of good fighters the distance. It would be a nice early statement in his young journey for Adam Maka, and a great domestic fight. Opens the broadcast at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Back to David.
The official weigh-in continues with a 10-round middleweight contest. Making his way to the stage this time, his professional record, 15 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw, with 7 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Burntwood, Staffordshire. Please welcome the Hawk, Troy Coleman. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. Professional record, 7 victories, 1 defeat, 5 of his 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Coventry, please welcome Aaron Bowen. And now making his way to the stage, Troy Coleman. 159 pounds, 4.5 ounces, 159.45. And now his opponent making his way to the scale, Aaron Bowen. 161.9 for Aaron Bowen, 161.9. Fighters face each other.
A really well-matched contest, this one, in a bustling middleweight division. And a great domestic pitcher, 27-year-old Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, now 7-1. Aaron Bowen against Troy Coleman. Let's listen in here.
Bowen v. Coleman. 10-round middleweight amateur boxing, live on DAZN from Sheffield, England.
I think what you're seeing there is 2 fighters who know where a win can take them. Tomorrow night, Bowen looking to get back to winning ways after that defeat for the area title against Tom Cowlin, November 2025. For Troy Coleman, fell short in an English title challenge against Jimmy Sains on a Matchroom show last October. Great division, huge upside for the winner in the opener tomorrow night. Also returning tomorrow, a young heavyweight star rising up the ranks. Back to David.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, 6 rounds in the heavyweight division, making his way to the stage. Professional record, 5 wins, 4 defeats, 2 draws, 3 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Bordeaux, France. Please welcome Fouad Shayley. And his opponent making his way to the stage, 6-0, 5 of his 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of York, the hard-hitting, young, undefeated Leo Atang. Now to the scale, Fouad Shayley. 263.8 ounces, 263 pounds, 8 ounces for Fouad Shayley. All right, now to the scale, Leo Atang. 263 pounds, 2 ounces for Leo Atang. Fighters face each other.
Here he is then, 19-year-old Leo Atang, 6-0 with 5 big wins by knockout. Banked 6 rounds in Liverpool last time out. As we said earlier, Dalton, he feels the weight has left his shoulders somewhat, and he won't force the stoppage tomorrow, but instead find it. Can you understand why everyone is getting a little bit excited about Leo Atang?
Yeah, I think he's settled in well. And you look at the size of him on the scales, he's filling out into a big heavyweight, and again, he'll be wanting to make a statement again tomorrow.
Yeah, Leo Atang look to get back on the knockout streak here in Sheffield and continue on the long journey ahead to what he hopes will be the very top of the heavyweight division. Title action to look forward to tomorrow night as well in the chief support. Back to David Diamante.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to weigh in the chief support of the evening as we go 10 rounds for the English Super Featherweight Championship. Making his way to the stage this time, he is the challenger. He's a southpaw. He is also undefeated. 10-0, 5 knockouts. Fighting out of the West Midlands, Birmingham. Please welcome the Midlands Area Super Featherweight Champion, the undefeated Ibrahim Spider Suleiman. And now making his way to the stage, the defending champion, professional record, 16 victories, only 1 defeat, 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Saturday night, he'll be making his main defense of his title, fighting out of Keighley, Yorkshire, the reigning and defending English Super Featherweight Champion, Ibrahim Nadim. Now to the scale, the challenger, Ibrahim Spider Suleiman. 129 pounds, 0.45 ounces for Suleiman. Now to the scale, the defending champion, Ibrahim Nadim. 129 pounds, 9 ounces for the defending title holder. Fighters face each other.
Your chief support tomorrow night, then first defence for Ibi Nadim, 16-1. The 27-year-old dedicated his English title win last November to the late great Ricky Hatton, who played a hugely significant role in Ibi's career as a trainer and as a mentor. First defence for Nadim against 10-0, the unbeaten Spider, Ibrahim Suleiman. The 25-year-old won the Midlands area title last time out, wants to become English champion tomorrow, then push on for more. A new recruit, Dalton, to the Steel City gym. Ibrahim Suleiman, how has he settled in and what is there to like about him as a young prospect?
I was a fan of Ibrahim before he came to our gym. He settled in well in the gym, and you know, the guy carries power, he's sharp, he whips them in, and he's going to have a great future.
Yeah, 10 rounds, that one in the chief support for the English Super Featherweight title. Them two went to national tournaments together as amateurs and now meet as rival professionals for the national title on the big stage. And of course, that will lead us in nicely to the main event for the final time this afternoon, David Diamante.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome everybody here today to Sheffield, England for the official weigh-in for our big night of world-class professional boxing taking place tomorrow night. And it's now time to weigh in the main event of the evening, as Mr. Eddie Hearn from Matchroom Boxing is proud to present 12 rounds for the European Super Featherweight Championship. Now making his way to the stage, please welcome the challenger. His professional record, 14 victories, only 1 defeat. He has 2 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Oldham. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aqib Fiaz. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He is a defending champion. His professional record, 18 victories, 1 defeat, with 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Armthorpe, Yorkshire, please welcome the reigning and defending European Super Featherweight Champion, Josh Padley. Now to the scale, the challenger, Aqib Fiaz. 129.65 for Aqib Fiaz. And now the defending champion, Josh Padley. 129.4 for the defending European champion, Josh Padley. Fighters face each other.
Here we go then, your main event tomorrow night, Josh Padley. What a story it is for the former electrician, Wembley to Riyadh, to defending his European title that he won in January for the first time tomorrow night in the main event at Sheffield Arena. Aqib Fiaz talking to his man there. Wants what Padley has, a top 15 ranking with 3 of the 4 governing bodies and big fights on the horizon. What do you like about this matchup, Dalton?
I think it's a great matchup, a real 50-50 fight. You know, I've done plenty of round sparring both guys, and like I said, I'm sat in the middle. They're both two of the loveliest guys you can meet in boxing, and you know, I'm going to enjoy it and may the best man win.
Here is a final reminder just before we have a final chat with Dalton Smith and Frank Smith on stage. No relation between the two, as far as I'm aware. As we just previewed there, Josh Padley versus Aqib Fiaz, your main event for the European Super Featherweight title. In the chief support title action as well, Ibn Nadim faces Ibrahim Spider Suleiman over 10 rounds. Heavyweight hope Leo Atang faces Fawad Shayili and Aaron Bowen. And Troy Coleman collide in the middleweight division in the opener, 7 p.m. live on DAZN. Before that, though, plenty to look forward to on the prelims, 5:15 p.m. Matchroom and DAZN YouTube channels. It is Chris Malunda who fights for the third time as a professional against Connor Goulding over 4 rounds. Farm boy Ed Hardy then faces the tough Jesus Carrasco. Connor Mitchell, the hammer, son of Kevin Mitchell, fights for the third time as a professional against Rodrigo Areco before 19-year-old Adam Maka looks to extend the knockout run to 6 fights, 6 wins, 6 by way of knockout. As I just make my way back up to the stage there to be joined by Matchroom CEO Frank Smith and once again Dalton Smith. Frank, we said it yesterday, but when you see the fighters there, you can hear them talking, you see what the occasion means to them all. So pleased, obviously disappointed for Dalton, which we'll talk about in a moment, so pleased the show goes on here in Sheffield tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, it's always key to ensure we can deliver for the fighters. You know, I'm not saying it's easier for Dalton to take, but financially, like a lot of these fighters, they work for 8, 10, 12 weeks for this moment. And you know, you never want to take that away from them. So to see, you know, 16 fighters get the opportunity, that's always the key for us, to make sure the show goes ahead, and I'm glad to see it.
And how pleasing is it for you as well, Dalton? Look, you're at the top of the tree now, you're a world champion, but all world champions need a supporting cast, and you love the city of Sheffield. This is your home, so how pleasing is it for you when you look at the array of talent that is coming through, looking to achieve what you've achieved?
Exactly that, and you know, young fighters need to be built in the city, and you know, Sheffield, you see what they do for me, that the fans, they get behind the fighters, and you see the young guys, the talent coming through our gym who's on here tonight. You know, Matchroom and DAZN have still given them that opportunity to go out, show their talent, and keep building that following.
Frank, it's been a wonderful journey already, from professional debut to world champion with Dalton Smith. I saw the video of you presenting him with his Rolex as well. Is that it there, actually?
He's always wearing it,
very
you know.
Nice, eh? Very. Where's
he also had the best promo I've ever
I
seen.
think I went swimming in it and water's leaked in it now.
Oh, dear.
I'm not getting another one.
You got the receipt?
Maybe it's snide. Maybe that's what it is. But by the way, also the belt collector promo. I mean, we'll have to reuse that. It costs so much money. We've got to reuse it for the next fight.
Exactly.
You just got to keep reusing it every time.
It was good. By the way, your acting's not bad. Yeah. Coronation Street next, maybe?
Maybe. I said, just get me a part where there's no lines in it.
But it's a word on the journey, Frank. It's been so special already, but where do you think we can go next, and how many wonderful chapters are left to write in this partnership?
So much more to come. You know, look, what he went and did in New York, in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center, you know, he went in there against a guy no one really wanted to fight, in Sabriel Matias. And look at the way he closed the show, fought him in his fight. What a crazy night. I said that night, one of the best nights I've ever had in boxing. And I've worked in boxing 18 years, to see him go and do that. And also, when you work with someone from day one, and you're on that journey together, and, you know, even though we're a small part of what he goes in there and does, it's an amazing thing to see, and there's so much more. You know, go out there, win. It's unfortunate with the delay, because we would have been looking to unify towards the end of the year. Now he's got the Puello fight, his WBC mandatory, and then after that, all the big fights are there to be made for him.
Does Hillsborough remain the ultimate dream for you, Dalton?
100%. That's, you know, it's to win a world title, and then I wanted to get a big fight at Hillsborough, and like I said, we're very close to doing that. I just need to keep on winning to make sure those dreams become reality.
I actually think timing-wise, though, by the way, you know, he has his next fight late October, November. That's what we're looking at now. And then you're probably looking at May time for his next fight. So the club, obviously, we're going through difficulty in the summer. I think this gives them that time, you know, to rebuild with the club. And then a huge event at Hillsborough next summer. That's what we're aiming for.
Dalton Smith versus Adam Azim at Hillsborough. Could that be the type of fight you'd want to stage in the stadium?
I heard you asking questions about it earlier to him. And I know, like, obviously your job is to try and create some narrative and all of this. Adam Azim isn't on Dalton Smith's level. Like, Dalton Smith went out there, won a world title, has done everything the hard way. You know, what has Adam Azim... And look, I'm not disrespecting Adam Azim personally, but, like, he's not on Dalton Smith's level. So, you know, all this talk, if he goes and wins a world title, cool. You know, like if it's a unified world championship, fine.
Is that when it would be the logical time for you to make it and look at it?
I think you can still make it, but everyone has to be sensible. I hear this talk about 50-50. It's more like 80-20. This guy's gone over to America, won the world title. He's going to do a huge crowd at Hillsborough. Adam Azim could barely do 300,000 audience on the BBC the other day. You know, like, so you have to look at the reality of it. And the reality is this man right here is the man that matters. So it's going to be whatever is right for him. He's never pulled out of a fight. He's never withdrawn from a fight. He's taken every test that's been in front of him. You know, so like, I know it's your job to ask that, but I heard him, you know, we're focused on Dalton Smith. Don't worry about anyone else. There's huge fights out there to be made.
70-30 generous.
I said 80-20.
Yeah,
you priced yourself out.
So what are you doing?
Realistic.
Mate, just
that's
say,
more realistic.
Just,
you know,
you just stop talking about
then
splits.
we talk about opponents and levels. I got stick with saying, oh, Dalton needs to go, and I've proven myself. And like again, no disrespect to Adam, he's got a fight was put in front of him, but Claggett lost to Matthew Germain, who I beat last year. You know what I mean? So you've got to go and prove yourself. And I think Adam will. I think he's got the talent, and I think he will go and do that.
I don't know why you're putting it on me anyway. I thought we were mates.
Look, I heard you asking the questions, and like, I look at it, and I'm like, what has Adam Azim done? And this is no disrespect to Adam Azim, by the way. He's done what he's had to in front of the people in front of him. But what this man's done to my right is leaps and bounds.
I think it's more so it's a fight that's spoken about. Dalton, I've asked you, what fight do you get asked about the most in the street? And you say it's Adam Azim. There's clearly a demand from it from the fans' perspective. I'm a fan asking the questions. The fans want to know the answers.
That's why and the fans, I'm not saying it won't happen, but all I'm saying is you ask, like people ask him all the time, he's not the one who has ever said no to it. You know, when it's been ordered twice now, they've pulled out every time. So now all of a sudden, or because he's got a world title, you know, like, it's going to be on his terms. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying the fight won't happen. The fight, I'm sure, will happen. And Dalton Smith will destroy Adam Azim like he did in at the Barclays Centre earlier this year. But, like, it has to be on the right terms. And this man is the king of the castle right now.
Well, just before we wrap up and you chin me live on DAZN.
I won't chin you.
No, that's all right. You couldn't anyway.
HR rules, you know.
In terms of, look, we just mentioned Dalton Smith and Hillsborough. That's the dream night. There's a certain fighter called Katie Taylor who's always talked about a dream night at Croke Park. There's a mysterious press conference happening at Croke Park today, and I don't want to take any guesses, but I think it's something pretty special.
I think she's doing a Q&A there later in the year. I think that's what they're there to announce.
With Adam Azim.
Yeah, look, I mean, let's be honest. The secret is out there of what it is. The fight hasn't been announced. I'll let the better version of me do that later this afternoon, but it's going to be a magical moment. You know, that night, 89, 90,000 people in that stadium. It's going to be one we'll never forget. And I'm glad that we're finally, hopefully, subject to the announcement at 2 o'clock, going to see a magical night at Croke Park.
I think everyone will be happy, Dalton, will they, to see Katie Taylor have that special night?
Oh, massive. You know, I was there in New York for the Serrano fight. And, look, who doesn't love Katie? You know, she's a star of the sport. Whether you're Irish, English, a boxing fan, you know, everybody loves Katie, and I think if it's Croke Park, you know, it'll be packed to the rafters. OK, well, so much to look forward to. Remember to tune in live on Matchroom Boxing YouTube channels from 2 p.m. for that mysterious special announcement from Croke Park in Ireland. And also remember to tune in tomorrow night, 5:15 p.m. for all the prelim action, 4 fights to look forward to. Matchroom DAZN YouTube channel, 7 p.m. live right here on the global home of the sport, that is DAZN. If you don't see me tomorrow, you know what's happened. Frank Smith's probably got hold of me backstage. Thanks very much for joining us.
Right, mate.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Rolex next, by the way.
Yeah.
You promised me a second.
I'll get you one of these ones that leaks.
The leaky one.
I'll have that one.
Yeah.
I'll have that one.
You have the leaky one.
Thanks very much for joining us, and thank you, of course, to our guest, Dalton Smith. More from him tomorrow night on the broadcast, and thank you to Mr. Frank Smith as well. No relation, as I say, between the two, just two very handsome men. See you tomorrow night.
This is Padley's here. Josh Padley is the new European champion in emphatic fashion.
Spider Suleiman.
He looks fired up, he means business. That is how you win your first title as a professional. Punch perfect.
Leo Atang.
He's a great prospect. He's got all the tools. At 19 years old, you're not seeing any other heavyweight do that. Massive future ahead.
Step by step, we're getting there. There's that left to the body. Bowen is becoming famous for another tremendous finish.
Sheffield, England. There's no turning back.
Fight Night on DAZN, brought to you by That Prize Guy. If you had the choice, what prize would change your life?
Yes.
Woohoo! The competition's from as little as 5p per entry. What are you waiting for? You could be next to change your life with that prize, guys.
It's cold out here. Way too cold for your brain. When I step to the spot, I got ice in my veins. Ice bath my therapy. When under pressure, I keep my cool.
What else? Lucozade, fuel to go the distance.
Xander Zayas defends his unified titles against pound-for-pound star Boots Ennis. June 27th, only on DAZN.
Introducing the casino you love to hate, Mr. Q.